Welcome to Dram Talk, your new mates on your journey into the world of whiskey. I'm Brad.
And I'm Daniel, and today we'll be looking at the Glen Scotia Caribbean Rum Cask.
Right, so what is this bottle, Daniel?
So, the Glen Scotia 2009 Caribbean Rum Cask Finish, as is its full name, was the Whisky Club's December 2020 Whisky of the Month. So, for those of you who may be unfamiliar, because I have a feeling a few people were, Glen Scotia is one of three distilleries in the Campbelltown region of Scotland. And now it's possible that the obscurity of this region and the distilleries there are the reason why this bottle is currently still available through the Whisky Club. And I say still available as of like mid-February. And I also think like it is possible that members were looking at saving money over the holidays and decided to opt out. But we are both very surprised that it is still available, considering our fondness for the Glen Scotia 15, which we've tried, and just for how good this dram has been.
Yeah, and I mean, it's probably worth noting that this was a special cask and released through the Whisky Club. So it's not available to the public or people outside of Australia. So this is your pre-warning for all our international listeners. You know, we're not going to ever encourage to tune out or not listen to an episode, but if you don't want to get intrigued by this stream and then just be completely disappointed that you can't get it, then maybe stop.
Yeah. maybe turn away now while you can. Otherwise, I mean, like I would just heavily recommend this dram to many people. So I don't know if you're one who listens to us for advice on what to buy and you are intrigued by this. Yeah, maybe it is best just to let this one go.
Or, you know, if you know someone in Australia and they can send you over a bottle.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Jump on that then.
Do that. That's a good option. But yeah, if you haven't tuned out, you know, thank you.
And thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, this malt here was distilled in September 2009 and matured in 100% first fill ex-bourbon barrels. The whiskey then spent 12 months in first fill ex-Caribbean rum casks. Now, unfortunately, they can't tell us what rum was in those casks, but, you know, you can just let your mind sail the high seas.
Just go all out Jack Sparrow.
And the bottle itself is at 46%, non-chill filtered, and natural color, what we love to see.
Yes, love it. On the tin as well as on the bottle. Like just really clear labeling, which is great.
Yeah, now, so Daniel, like just what's your experiences with Glen Scotia?
So I first heard about Glen Scotia at the Scotch Whisky Experience in Edinburgh. And I got my partner to order that as her like free sample. She ordered the Glen Scotia double cask. So they gave you the option of trying a whiskey from the different regions. And like I was kind of intrigued by the region of Campbelltown, and that was their Campbelltown whiskey they had. So we ordered it, and I got to drink that as well. My one was the Port Charlotte. You'd know if you've listened to previous episodes. Now, I really enjoyed that dram, the double cask, and I was like, yeah, need to make it down to that distillery. So I scheduled in like specifically a trip to Campbelltown to track down that distillery, and went there and like just got to try a few of their other expressions, and I ended up taking home the Glen Scotia 15. So I've been a huge fan of that. And then when I saw the Whisky Club had a bottle of Glen Scotia, like I was all over it. And what about you, Brad?
Yeah, for me, I guess my first experience with Glen Scotia was at yours. I had a couple of drams of the 15. Absolutely loved it. And I guess when it comes to me, when I'm, I guess, choosing a gateway to Isla and that I'd give to people, for me, it's normally Oban. Mm-hmm. But really, like, geographically speaking, Campbelltown's like your actual last stop on the mainland before you head on over to the sweet old island of Pete that we love, right?
Yeah, it was interesting because I actually stopped at the port that they take the ferry to go to Isla on my way there. So I was like, so close to Isla, yet so far.
Yeah. And like what I found as well is that their actual locations like really present in their drams. Like you get you get a lot of that marine and briny notes, and I love that stuff. So it's just Glen Scotia has really surprised me, and I've been really impressed with what they have to offer. And for me, it's really like piqued my interest in the distillery and the actual region itself. So, you know, I'm looking at Springbank, I'm looking at Longrow, I'm just Kilkerran, whatever it is, I want some more.
I think we forgot to mention at the top of this episode, or like people listening may have found out already if they noticed the length of it. This is actually one of our express episodes. So as we mentioned, we're doing these to like smash through tastings of bottles that aren't like widely available to the public or to people around the world. So this episode is, I would say, geared specifically to those listeners that do have a bottle of this, or those who are in Australia and still members of the Whisky Club and are therefore still able to get their hands on a bottle. So in saying that, let's jump straight into it. So what are we getting on the nose?
Right. So for me, I'm getting a strong note of sea salt, like a salted caramel. So I wouldn't say sea salt, but more salted caramel, and maybe getting a bit of banana, but I'm definitely picking up notes of white chocolate as well.
Yeah, I was going to say the white chocolate is what's coming across, like very prevalent. And I'm also getting like a green note. I want to say it's more like a leaf. So it's probably weird, but the things that are coming to my mind when I'm smelling it is like palm leaves or banana leaves. Just like a really tropical, coastal, green leafy note.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. It's a really, really tropical dram.
And I think this is one of the things that I've enjoyed so much about this dram, especially now here in Australia, is for me, this is like a great summer dram. Like it is one that I could just really enjoy on a hot day.
Oh yeah, 100%. The nose is summer. And even from the nose, it's so light. I don't know. I just find it so inviting as well. There's just such great things there that I'm picking up. I'm getting, getting banana. I'm getting salted caramel, like I mentioned before. And it's just a nice sweetness that isn't overpowering, but then it's off-played a little bit by the saltiness as well.
Yeah, excellent. Let's go into the palate. So what I've noticed on the palate is, I don't know, it's very, again, it's still keeping that really light, fresh, summery note, but it's introducing really nice, like crisp fruits, like a crisp green apple.
Yeah, 100%. And what hasn't left is that creamy note of a white chocolate. That's definitely present on the palate as well.
Yeah, that does carry on. And
So
I'm getting almost like it's not like a super coconutty note, but I want to say it'd be like the liquid inside a coconut when you crack it open.
yeah,
And again,
sure.
I don't know if I'm still just like, my mind is taken to the Caribbean because I know this is aged in Caribbean or finished in Caribbean rum casks, but I feel like I'm taken to a tropical island.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I can see the coconut note that you're picking up, but for me, it's really a strong note of that white chocolate, and that's just constantly coming through. And it's really weird that the dram's so light, but it's still presenting like a creamy note as well.
Yeah. And so I think that's where I'm kind of drawing that coconut, what do you call it? Coconut water, coconut milk from. It's got that like, yeah, heavy, creamy, almost like the coconut meaty note in it, but it's still liquidy, it's still light, it's still refreshing.
Yeah, it's a really good one. And even on the palate, like I mean, you'd be hard pressed to tell me this was at 46%. I probably wouldn't believe you.
Oh yeah, it does feel a lot lighter than that. But I think like coming into the finish, I'm getting those salty notes coming back and salty kind of transitioning into a citrusy tang, like a citrus peel.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm not getting too much saltiness on the finish. I'm getting more of a sweetness.
Okay. I mean, like the bourbon cask influence is coming through, I guess, like in a very not very subtle, but it's definitely not like overly prevalent, but there is like a vanilla note sitting there too.
Yeah. Oh man, good stuff. Good stuff.
It is really good. It's just, I don't know. I'll keep saying it, and I think I've already spoiled my dram in words, but this has taken me to a tropical island,
Yeah, 100%.
like white sand beaches, big palm trees, coconuts. It's the best. And I think we should also, I guess, a little peek behind the curtains for those that can't see. We aren't drinking out of our usual Glencairn glasses. So I've actually got a copper glass that I picked up from the Glen Scotia distillery. So it is, I'm holding it up as if to show the audience, but the only other person that can see is Brad. Yeah, it's got the Glen Scotia labeled on it.
Yeah, and I'm drinking out of a Denver and Liley glass. So, hey, we just thought we'd mix it up today. Why not?
Do something new.
Oh man, should we add some water into this one?
I think we should. I think that's been my problem with this is I haven't actually tried this with water because I just enjoy it too much. Before I know the glass is empty and I'm like, damn, forgot to add the water. I guess I'll have to pour another one.
Yeah, for me, this dram is just very Moorish.
Because I find it's nice and sweet without being too sweet. And I think after the water, it's definitely jumping out as a lot more coastal. And I think that's what we seem to find with a lot of these seaside coastal drams. Like we notice that really prevalent with Talisker. But like the moment you add water to these coastal drams, they really like come alive on a different level.
Yeah, that's true. And even on the palate, with the addition of water, it's a lot more briny, but at the same time, it's more of those citrusy notes are coming through, I'm finding.
Yeah, and it doesn't like the other flavors. They also don't feel like they've been watered down, so it's still keeping to like the same consistency we had originally, but just bringing out a lot more of those coastal briny citrusy notes.
Yeah, it's really good. Like you'd almost expect the water to numb some of those flavors, but they're still very, very present.
Yeah, I've just loved how this is handling that.
And it's really weird because even the water's added a bit of heat to the dram, which wasn't really present for me.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, it has changed the finish. I'm not getting so much of that salty note on the finish. That was coming across a little bit earlier. On the finish, it's a little bit more balanced, a little bit more.
I just rounded out.
Yeah, rounded out. There's introduced a little bit of fruit to the vanilla in the finish, but it's not like the white fruits. It's more, I would say, borderline like a banana.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, I've given my dram in words. Do you have one, Brad?
I mean, you're really going to do the people like that. Oh, man, we're going to have to like sieve through the episode to find the dram in words.
Okay, I'll recap. My dram in words. It's taken me to a tropical island, like white sand beaches. I'm sitting on a hammock underneath, like between two palm trees. I'm just sipping out of a coconut. It's like, it's the perfect escape and the perfect like summer holiday that we've been able to take due to COVID not allowing us to travel anywhere.
Yeah, very, very apt being in December. A really good way to end the year, I think, anyway.
For those in the Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah, well, yeah, that as well. I guess for me, my dram in words, I'd say I'm on a pirate ship sailing the high seas, and it's been days on the water, and we've just spotted land. Get straight onto that white sand, and what do you see is just tons and tons of palm trees, coconuts in the trees. You're completely parched. Climb up, knock one down, crack it open, get straight into the coconut, and you're still getting wafts of that sea air as well. Good stuff.
And you see me hanging on my hammock.
I'm like, mate, what are you doing here? Nah, it's
I've been here for 20 years.
It's really good stuff.
It is
really good stuff.
I find like it's a really good change from the 15 that I've had. It's a good change from a lot of the whiskeys because as like attentive listeners to our show may know, we're huge peat heads and we love sherried whiskeys, yet we're fawning over this rum cask finish that's been aged in bourbon barrels. But, you know, I mean, for everything we've just said, it's a great drop.
Yeah, it really is. And I think it just goes to show like our prior preferences haven't really affected how we viewed this dram or how we came into it. Because if anything, when I saw a rum cask finish, that just caught my eye straight away and I was immediately intrigued by that. And to top it off as well, I just really was curious to see how Glen Scotia would act in a rum cask.
Yeah, that was really interesting.
And
find out.
Yeah, we came into it and we've come out of it very, very, very pleasantly surprised.
Indeed. All right, let's get on to the rating. So, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
You know what? I'll go first. I'll
Okay.
go first. All right. So for me, this is an 8.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm going to give this an 8.2. I think, yeah, because I'm just like, again, I'm comparing it with like how I've rated other ones. I mean, like I put the Leche at an 8.2. That was a really good, peated whiskey from a non-Islay distillery. And I'm like, shot for shot quality wise as to how much I enjoyed them, it's on par with that.
Right. For me, this maybe beats a couple of peated whiskey I've rated before, but man, this just serves a different purpose for me. Like its service is like a different flavor that I just don't get to experience too often in a whiskey.
Yeah, and I think a lot of my, I guess, perceptions of this one have been shaped by the time of year it is. Like it's summer here in Australia. It's really hot. I can always go a peated whiskey, but at the same time, when it's like scorching borderline 40 degrees outside, the last thing you want to be doing is like throwing smoke down your mouth. And a lot of the sherried whiskeys, they're very like peated and sherry whiskeys. I find they're very like winter appropriate drams. And this is just like a really easy summer sipping one.
Yeah, so for me, a lot of you might be thinking, you know, Peathead, what's going on? Even for Daniel as well, you guys are thinking like Peatheads, what's going on? Why is this being rated that highly? Why is it on par with those? Well, you know, it's just one of those drams that, in spite of all of that, it's just good. And we have to recognize that. And when we recognize and see a good dram, we're going to rate it appropriately anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. It's good stuff. I don't know. You finished? Oh, you're finished. I still got some left. I'm saving it.
I'm just done.
But at the same time as well, I mean, if you can't tell, we are recording remotely. And I've been taking full advantage of that, ladies and gentlemen. I've been pouring some very, very heavy drams. Very, very heavy-handed.
Yeah, I've been quite a bit liberal with my pours as well. Knowing that I don't have to share some of this with you, Brad. You can stop mooching off my ones.
Oh, I got a bottle of this. Probably going to get another one.
Yeah.
Straight after this one.
Yep. But yeah, like on that, if you're in Australia or you're a member of the Whisky Club and you haven't got this, like do yourself a favor and add this to your list, because I think you'd be pleasantly surprised. And I mean, like if you already have it, like please let us know your thoughts. If you haven't and you do go out and buy it, like even more so, we'd love to know whether it was our ideas that led you to purchasing it.
Yeah, but even that, it's just, this is one that's 100% Dram Talk approved, and one that Daniel and I can really bet on saying that you'll enjoy it. And not only that, but it's one that's worth taking a chance on if you're on the fence.
Yeah, I think it is one that is worth taking a chance on. And like saying that, like we can recommend it really highly, but we are aware that everyone has their own preferences and palates. So it may not be for everyone, but I think it is just like a definite quality dram.
Yeah, 100%. Now, it's probably all we have time for. So thanks for listening, ladies and gentlemen. It'd be a huge help if you could give us a rating.
Preferably 5 stars.
Wherever you get your podcast, it's a huge help to us. And if you'd like to get into contact, you can reach us at Dram Talk Podcast on Instagram, or email us at dramtalk.au@gmail.com. As always, we'd love to hear from you. Now, our glasses may be empty, but we hope yours aren't. So,
pour another dram!